Welcome back to the In the Can Show. This week we're going apeshit as we get our hands on Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
Get the latest in film reviews from inthecan.net, preventing mind vomits by recommending only the best.
Or Planet of the Apes or Dawn of the Rise of the Planet of the Homo sapiens is a good one.
Maybe they'll add in a few more words for the next title.
No, I said that those are some really long titles though.
Yeah, they're just long on their own anyway, but I mean, it's like, next thing it's gonna be like, Battle for the Uprising of the Planet of the Apes, Part 3.
Well, what did you think of it, Dom?
That they've done.
I thought it was very good. I thought that it improved on all of the problems that I had with the last movie, which is great to know that some filmmakers are actually learning from their mistakes. So it's something that Michael Bay can learn from.
But you know what I said? What I said last night, Joel, is that why this movie was so good is because of the time between the reboot and the follow-up.
Oh yeah, and why's that?
So clearly, what they've taken their time with this one. They've put in it's when you're watching it, it's clearly a labor of love. Like you can see that they actually set out to say we're not just going to make a blockbuster success, but we're also just setting out to make a good movie for the fans and obviously and also for ourselves to enjoy.
I think that the things that it improved on were on the previous movie. I had a very big problem with the casting. I think that James Franco was completely miscast for that movie, and because of that, it set like a very kind of confusing tone for the movie. Like, I didn't know if it wanted to be comedy or like, action, science fiction. But this time they really nailed it. It's got this sort of like dark, somber tone that sort of carries throughout the entire movie. So no confusions there.
Throughout the whole movie is sort of on a knife's edge. Like the interactions between the species, it's just like they're so fragile. Like at any moment you get this feeling like shit's gonna go down, and you don't know when it's coming. But like
playing on the tension.
The tension
like
was
one.
And I think that it uses that to its advantage, but at the same time, I was very worried that the interactions between the apes and how they speak was going to be a little campy, but they didn't go that route, thankfully. It
was actually handled very well.
No, it was pitch perfect on that account. The way that they spoke, it wasn't like,
and
well,
the
we're
fact
just
that he's Caesar and the way that the tribe interacts with him, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not like they were just like, shooting the breeze or whatever. It's like, I mean, they did like from time to time, but it's just that was my biggest fear. And look, I think they gave the fans what they wanted, which was the apes taking the forefront over the human characters, because they made the human characters the big thing in the last movie, and the human characters were not great. So it was really quite pleasant to see.
That's actually what I mentioned. That's what I mentioned to Terrence, was that you had so many fleshed out characters within the apes, and Hollywood in general they can learn from this, because they sometimes really suck at writing people properly in their movies, and we're always wondering about character development. But you had apes that were fully developed and intriguing, and all these multi-dimensions. They're not even human.
So it's a bit early, but what do you think? Do you think this is gonna win some awards at the Academy?
I think that visual effects wise, it's definitely going to be up there for an Oscar. I think that the last one was as well. I think there's a very high potential that Andy Serkis might get some acclaim for his role again, but maybe they'll actually sort of get their fingers out of their asses and actually nominate him for a best actor or something, because that performance was just
phenomenal.
It's phenomenal because you don't expect it from the apes. It's like that's something that you expect from a human character, but by that token, a lot of the credit should also go to the guys who did the visuals, because they're the ones who sort of communicated that vision. So it's like just as much as Andy Serkis is responsible for that performance, so are the animators and the modelers and what have you. But yeah,
It's
got a bit of
performance, but what I was saying to Steven last night is that is the best villain that I've seen on screen since Heath Ledger's The Joker.
No, it was
scary Cobra. Yeah,
I was afraid.
it was all the apes in general. I mean, Cobra was obviously the added element, but I mean, if you're walking down a pathway in the woods and you turn a corner and there's a gorilla staring you in the face, you're gonna let go some poo.
Yeah, soiled underwear for sure. No, it's enough to make you almost forget about Tim Burton's attempt, which wasn't much of an attempt really.
What attempt?
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. No, I was impressed. I was initially with the last movie, I was really skeptical about how they were going to handle it, because I thought that the franchise was done and finished. Couldn't really do anything more with it, and they surprised me. They surprised me last time. I thought that it had the potential to be incredible, and I think that this is the movie that the last one should have been as well.
I think this
the last one had a disadvantage because it's a reboot and an origin story as well, and people like another origin story and a reboot. So by its own existence, it's kind of sandbagged because of what it is.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the last film. So I'm not in that same camp as you, or I don't know if Steven didn't enjoy the last film either, but
I did enjoy
really
the last one. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it. I just thought, the critic in me, because I had to review it and everything, I couldn't look at it from the sort of rose-tinted glasses that you did. It's like I had to sort of pick it apart, just for the sake of what I do, and I couldn't ignore some of the parts that really could have been fixed, and thankfully we didn't have to do with any James Francos this time around, other than in a picture frame or like a small video clip. And I think that this is actually one of the most sort of emotive films that we've seen in a while. It's like that's really the characters seem to feel like genuine emotions, and they express them very well, and that's something that we've been missing a lot of. It's like we're so used to seeing all the diehards and that sort of thing, but it's nice to see a science fiction that isn't not as much as I enjoyed Edge of Tomorrow. It's nice to see one that has heart to it. It's something that's been missing. I'd like to see more of it.
Well, it's something that we mentioned.
Man's movie than Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah. Something that Terrence and I were talking about last night was that it's got so many layers. It's like really, really a thick film that you can really bite into.
It is.
Because we mentioned how it shows like the mirror to society as well, as we were talking about Game of Thrones earlier. But this one in a different sense, because it really it twists what you think you know. So if you insert yourself into the story, it's like you've been drained. It's been droned into us that man holds dominion over the animal kingdom. But here you're faced with an animal that's no longer seen as an animal; you're seen as an equal. Well, and that's a bit of a mind job that you have to make a mental leap with.
Well, I think that humans we struggle as a species to think that anybody's equal to us. But what you can take from the story is that the idea of harmony within nature is something that should be sort of aspired towards. If you look to an ape that tries to keep the peace, when humans will do anything but that, it's...
But then again, also, if you look back on how man has evolved or learned and engineered his way to have this sort of technological advances. I mean, I was thinking that this is going back to the Stone Age. The modern man is now plunged back into the Stone Age, but he should be able to still cope. It's just that we have this tendency to want to move forward in terms of like reinventing the wheel and all that. Yeah, progress. But we should be able to still have a balance with nature, and it's something that it's again shining that mirror on society where we're wrecking our planet because we haven't formed any harmony with nature.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of like what Avatar was preaching, but I think with this film, it was a lot more resonant.
I think it was resonant because instead of preaching, like Avatar did, it actually showed you something. That's the difference,
But also, I mean, if you think of it as an alien race, if an alien race had to come in, you'd see it as this foreign species. You try to do the whole mind leap and all that. But in this instance, it's a species that we're familiar with because they sort of related to us. So it's so much closer to home. So they're taking what you already think you know and they're kind of expanding on that, just sort of bridging the gap a little bit. There's just a one dot further that you have to jump to connect the dots and so on.
Well, I can definitely say that it's the surprise blockbuster of the year, considering that we've had to sit through so much mediocrity. Faith Restored.
It wasn't a surprise for me, though. It wasn't a surprise for me. I always knew when I saw that this film was coming out and Andy Serkis was involved and the same people, different director. I knew this is gonna be my movie of the year.
Well, there's still a lot of year to go by, but so far it's been a highlight in terms of blockbuster. I will give you that. So it gets the thumbs up from the team ITK. Check inthecan.net soon for our official review of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes before you go to the theaters. And while you're there, leave a comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on Facebook, Twitter, all the social media stuff that you'd expect. And as always, stay tuned.